I'm still going to argue that you should not ego lift. And let me tell you, the Tren twins are, in fact, ego lifting. They might even be ego lifting harder than last time. Coach Greg, and today I'm talking about the Tren twins, of which I'm coaching. And they're not listening. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You want to hear the Tren twins, they're listening to everything Coach Greg says. They're doing exactly as they're told. That they're going to be the youngest pros ever. Well, first of all, the youngest pro was in fact pro at only 19 years of age in men's physique. Crazy, I know. But regardless of that, it's not a race. You don't need to turn pro at the youngest age. In fact, if it takes you longer to get there, you're going to appreciate it more, and it's that much more enjoyable. The harder you have to work for something, the better. And the Tren twins, one thing they will do in spades, more than they need to, is work and train hard. They are highly dedicated. They are willing to suffer and put in the work. And so you're thinking, well, how are they not listening then? Well, let me explain.
What ego lifting can do for you, it can essentially allow you to stop being a cook in the gym.
And so he brings up a valid point. If you just go to the gym and never push yourself, you're never ego lifting per se, you're just playing around with light weights, never really trying hard, you're limiting your gains. But does that mean the answer is to then ego lift?
Make the biggest noises and command an audience, have to slam the weight around because they are overcompensation for physical inadequacies.
And so yes, it could be somebody going to the gym and just screaming around, throwing heavy weights, trying to beat their opponents. But there's more to it than that. Ego lifting is when someone attempts to lift more weight than they should. Then they should. To me, that is the key word. And so I'm not saying that you can't cheat reps. I'm not saying not to go to failure, that you can't do forced rep, that you can't use a bit of body English to make the weight go up. After all, you can cheat on your girls or cheat on your curls, but it's preferable to cheat on your curls. Because if you cheat on your girls, it's bad, right? It's bad, right? Babe used to be around. She's not here. I can't ask her. I don't know if it's actually that bad. I think it's bad. I'm not sure. It's probably bad. Ego lifting is more likely to end in injury than lead to your goals. And so, for example, the Mountain, he just recently tore his pec, put on an all-time PR on the bench. He jumped from 230 kilo to 240. Rather than jumping to 250 or less, he jumped to an all-time PR. He put more weight on the bar than he should. It was a powerlifting meet. People were cheering him on. He felt extra confident. He was pumped, amped up, and put an all-time PR, tore his pec. And so he put on more weight than he should. It was more likely to lead to injury than achieving his goals. His goal is to set the all-time world record in powerlifting. Putting up more weight than he should on the bar, which led to an injury, it's going to prevent him from reaching his goal. And so I'm still going to argue that you should not ego lift. And let me tell you, the Tren twins are, in fact, ego lifting. They might even be ego lifting harder than last time. And the worst time to ego lift, it's when you're on a diet while taking performance-enhancing drugs. When you're on PEDs, your muscles get significantly stronger at a faster rate than your tendons. The tendons attach the muscle to the bone and are what causes your body to move. And so if you're bench pressing or curling more weight than you should, if the muscle can't handle it, although it's strong enough to handle it, if it can't stay attached to the tendon and it tears, well, you're going to get injured. And so just wait and see how much weight the Tren twins go for on the bench press. Going to show you how it could potentially lead to injury and why they need to stop. And remember, I'm not sharing all the details of myself with my coaching clients. It's private. But what I am doing is commenting on what they're showing on social media. And so they're showing themselves lifting these weights. And so I'm going to comment on.
The Urban Dictionary for ego lifter is typically of male persuasion.
And it is true. He's saying typically the male persuasion. It is in fact true that there's more men who ego lift than women. I have in fact done a video on this. I spoke to which sex trains harder in the gym overall, men versus women. Of course, you can go and check that out. And perhaps you'll be surprised. You might think it's misogynistic to say that most men train harder in the gym than most women, but it's simply the truth. I speak facts. I had research and I show the research. And so watch the frickin' video.
We ego lift with intensity and emotion.
And so I'm not disagreeing with them. They're ego lifting with emotion and intensity, but they still fail. If you go for a 1 rep max and you can't get the weight, you failed. You failed at that weight. Now, if you use perfect technique and you have a lighter weight and you're going for 10 reps or more and you fail at the end of the set, well, that's good. You're training to failure. You're supposed to do that. But if you put up more weight than you should just to see how much weight you can bench press while dieting for a powerlifting competition and you don't get the weight, if you can't lift it, that is ego lifting. Remember, lifting more weight than you should. Should you be going for 1 rep maxes on the bench press while dieting for a bodybuilding competition? Of course not. And even if it was a powerlifting competition, I would argue this is not smart. How often do powerlifters go for 1 rep maxes in the gym leading up to a powerlifting competition? Rarely, if ever. And how often would they put a 1 rep max in the gym training for a powerlifting meet and not actually be able to get it? Not often, if ever. And if they're smart, they wouldn't fail it. And remember, not getting the weight on any particular day and not being injured doesn't mean you're out of the woods. If you in fact go for a 1 rep max and you fail on that attempt, or you lift very heavy, don't get all the reps, or even if you do, that can predispose the muscle for injury on a later date. And so just because you made it through that workout and didn't get injured doesn't mean you're free and clear for the next. You might have micro tears in the muscle, or you've just predisposed your body to being injured in the future. Each training day can lead to a certain stress on the body and cause you to get closer and closer to injury. And one day, it's finally the day, and you get injured, torn pec, bye-bye bodybuilding competition. And so if you're dieting down, getting closer to competition, and continue trying to set PRs or 1 rep maxes in the gym, you're predisposing your body for injury. It's only a matter of time. It's not even a if, it's a when are you going to get injured.
Fix your diet instead of spending $100 on some shit that's supposed to help you boost your test. Fix your diet, get your cardio right.
And so I think it's a little bit hypocritical, just a little bit, because they're going on a rant here saying you shouldn't be spending $150 on test boosters, that you don't need supplements, that you just need to change your diet and get things in order, train properly, do your cardio. Yet they're literally talking about taking pre-workout pump, taking supplements to enhance your performance. And we know they're not natural. And so I do think it's a little hypocritical to say, hey, don't buy supplements, but buy our supplements. Because after all, they're putting music, curse words, and so on their videos. And so their videos are not even monetized. That I can promise you is hurting their income. If you can't monetize your YouTube videos, you're losing out on thousands and thousands of dollars. And so if you want to support the Trends, please go and purchase their supplements. I'm not against taking supplements. Obviously not. I have my own supplement company. I want you to take supplements. Want you to buy them. But what I don't want is for teenagers to go out there and think they need supplements. You don't need to take anything. Save it for when you're older, when you reach a plateau, then take supplements. And of the test boosters and pre-workouts and all that stuff, the number one supplement I would recommend in the whole world, more than creatine, it's GO2 Max. The main ingredient, NMN, has been shown human-controlled studies to dramatically improve cardio. It's not the placebo effect, and it's not in mice. The stuff legit actually works. It was featured on the Joe Rogan podcast featuring Andrew Huberman. They spoke in length to NMN the last 16 and a half minutes. They spoke about how much energy it can give you, how much you're going to feel better, and that the FDA recently banned it being sold on Amazon. But you can still get on my website, code Greg, 10% off. And remember, it's not banned by WADA. It's not a PD. It's not some banned supplement. It's not going to revoke your natty card. And so head over to the website. If you want to improve cardio, improved energy, head over to the website right now, code Greg, 10% off.
I need more fucking steroids.
No, you don't. In fact, at your age, you don't need anything. You can make gains without taking a single thing, without even using natural supplements. Remember, these guys are in their early 20s. They have plenty of gains left on the table. But they decided they don't want to do it natural. And remember, as long as you're not breaking the law and you do so with advice and consent of your doctor, and I'm not your doctor, then do what the doctor says. But one thing I can say is they do not need more. The lowest dose that makes you happy. Always start with less than you think. The lowest dose. And that applies to all supplements, even natural ones. You get a pre-workout, it says to take 1 or 2 scoops. You can take half a scoop. Take the lowest or smallest dose that you need, and over time you can progressive overload and titrate upwards. And although they're called the Tren twins, I'm certain that for the most part, almost all of you think they're taking much higher doses than they are. I'm not going to share with you what they're taking exactly, but I'm telling you that the vast majority of competitors, people who are competing, even at the amateur level, are going to be on higher cycles than these guys are.
It's fine. It's not on, bro. Something happens to
Right on, there you go. There you go.
And so what they're doing here is they're wrapping their elbows. It allows you to prevent getting pains. Oftentimes when you bench press, especially with very heavy weights, you can get pains around the elbow. And so this can prevent it. What it also does is allows you to lift heavier weights. Now listen, if you put these on very tight to the point where you can't feel blood flow through your arm, it's not good. Yes, it's tighter and it can allow you to lift heavier, but in fact increases the danger of the lift. Just think of it. If you're wrapping your elbows, your arms are that much stronger. Do you know what that means? You're using more weight. With more weight on the bar, it's increasing the load on the chest. And so ultimately what can happen, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And so if the weakest link happens to be in your chest because you've now wrapped your arms, guess what happens? A pec tear.
Oh my God, I'm not using these at this point, bro. Come on, bro, let's go. Let's go. Let's help you press, bro. I gotta help you, come on. Sure. I'm not even gonna be able to bend my elbows.
He's literally saying, I'm not using these, bro. They're wrapped up so tight. You probably never used these before. So tight, so uncomfortable. He doesn't even want to do it. And so he lays down, lowers the bar halfway to his chest. He said, if I tried to do this, I couldn't have gotten the weight up. It would have been so painful, couldn't do it. Imagine if he had gotten injured.
If I would have went down, I literally would have got stuck.
If he would have gotten down, he would have gotten stuck. That's called ego lifting, more weight on the bar than he should be lifting. We didn't get injured here right now on this set, but how do you know you're not going to get injured next time? And so he does in fact get 405 for 6. That is very strong. That's a lot of reps. But remember, what if he'd gotten injured? What if the 6th rep was the rep he would have gotten injured on? And just because he made it through this exercise doesn't mean he won't get injured the next time. And if you're asking me, of which I don't care if you are or not, I'm telling you, when you're training for a bodybuilding contest on a diet, you don't need to go for 5 or 6 rep maxes. You simply don't need this much weight on the bar. You're thinking, no, you need those heavy weights to build hard, dense muscle. You don't. Could have had 40 pounds left, 365, gone for 10 to 12 reps. You're going to build the muscle. It's going to look the same. If you do a 6 rep max or a 12 rep max, in the end, on show day, you're going to look the same. It's not making a freaking difference. And next up, you just got 6. Well, I'm going to try to stay weight because I need to keep up with you. And so he gets 3 solid reps, and then rep number 4, can't get it. And he's struggling. He's squeezing out the rep as hard as he possibly can. That is the exact time when you're most likely to get injured. When you're pushing with everything you got to get up the hardest weight possible. And so how many of you think it's smart to go for a 3.5, 4 repetition maximum while dieting for a bodybuilding competition? It's not smart. Don't do it. Lighten the weight, leave your ego at the door, and of course still train hard. You can still train to failure, but not with such a heavy weight. But no, we're not done there. No, 405 for 6. It's not heavy enough. I know now that I'm pre-fatigued, now that I'm tired, I'm going to add 50 pounds to the bar. And yes, he does it. He squeezes that rep out, 455 pounds for a 1 rep max. But why? Aren't we doing a bodybuilding competition? Remember, I've done 59 bodybuilding competitions and not a single time have they asked me to bench press. And I was a world record holder in the bench press. They never asked me a single time to do a bench press while on the bodybuilding platform. And so why are we doing 1 rep maxes? Save it for later. Save it for when you're training for a powerlifting competition. Why would you want to get injured? This is not the time to do a 1 rep max. And no, we're not done yet. I just did 4 plates for 3.5 reps, 4 with a spot. I'm going to do that set again. And so why are we doing multiple sets this heavy? Multiple sets below 5 to failure? Why are we doing that? It's bodybuilding, not powerlifting. And not even the powerlifters would train this way. And after 455, that's not enough. Let's go back down to 4 plates, of which I got 6. And let me fail on the 4th attempt. What if that was the rep that you got injured on? It's not smart. This is too heavy. This is clear and cut ego lifting in the gym.
The truth about being shredded and aesthetic. Lose your strength. You feel like a piece of shit.
And he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. He's saying, when you're dieting down and getting shredded, you're a lot weaker. You are. And so you shouldn't be trying to lift 1 rep maxes. He says, but you look great when you take your shirt off and you're pumped. You're going to see the reflection in the mirror and you're going to be like, wow, this looks incredible.
I haven't even got I'm barely even shredded right now, which is crazy.
If they were to step on stage in this condition right now, they would be far too lean. And so although they look very aesthetic, and they are in fact very lean, leaner than they need to be for their own health, for bodybuilding purposes, this is considered very soft for competition. And so although they look very good, they're very lean, they're very aesthetic, to compete in bodybuilding, they have a long way to go. They have a lot of fat to lose. And so for the most part, already has a better physique than 99.999% of the population. But the goal, it's not just to look like this for them. They want to turn pro. And to turn pro, to win a bodybuilding competition, you got to get shredded. And so when I make videos and I tell you to go halfway there, halfway to your dream physique, this is not where they want to be. They want to get to that dream physique. But because of that, there are many challenges, both mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, everything. It's not something I recommend for everyone. And so if you're contemplating going in a bodybuilding competition and you're not sure, the answer is no. If you're not sure, as in you're not certain you want to take on the level of suffering required to get shredded, to push your physique to the ultimate it could be, you should not do it. It's too hard. For the most part, I'd rather see you just be healthy, maintain a lean and healthy physique, perhaps 15% body fat for most men, something healthy, because when you keep pushing to single-digit body fat, you could have lower testosterone levels, have less energy, brain fog, could get upset, angry, irritable, develop body dysmorphia. And so anyone getting into bodybuilding, I caution you, be careful. Especially if you're using performance-enhancing drugs. Remember, never break the law. Only do so with the advice and consent from your doctor. And if you haven't gotten the brand new Seco Plus bars, I strongly recommend this flavor. The Caramel Toffee Crunch, almost everyone I've given these to have said this is the best flavor, the best one. Better than many chocolate bars. I kid you not. You gotta try this. It's absolutely incredible. This one has 250 calories. The Seco regular bars, 220 calories. They have more fiber. This one, incredibly soft, delicious. It tastes so good. It's Allie's favorite. Highly recommend the Seco Plus bars. And don't forget, obviously, I got the freaking cookbook. I got the training book, and maybe you haven't heard of it. The Circle Diet book. I wrote an entire book on how to lose weight, keep it off for the rest of your life. You probably heard of the keto diet. This is way better than that diet. That diet, for most people, you're not going to be able to follow it that long. If you read the book and understand it, you have no need for coaches, nothing. This book, all you're going to need. Like the video right now if you liked it. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. Subscribe. Only 50% of people watching my videos are subscribed. I would like to get that even higher. You want to watch more content. There's over 2,500 videos. Please subscribe. You get all the videos notified right away. Subscribe and click the bell button. And after subscribing, click the bell button to get notified right away. Watch a video right away. Write a comment that helps the algorithm. Don't forget to watch the 2 bloops. And until next time, I am out.